Tonight, an exclusive look at what we're calling the Tale of Two Titans. Titan America operates Roanoke Cement, a facility 5 hours from here.
Plans for the company to build a similar plant in Castle Hayne have drawn a lot of fire from environmental leaders. So we sent WECT's Ashley Kozakowski to Troutville, the home of Roanoke Cement, to find out what people think of their neighbor.
There's some of the milk cows.
Jerry Henderson is a fifth-generation dairy farmer. At his farm, tucked under the side of a mountain, Jerry and his family milk cows and raise calves into future milk makers. The milk from here winds up on grocery store shelves across the East Coast.
We shipping about 2,000 gallons a day.
Henderson says it's important his cows stay healthy.
Every load of milk that leaves here is tested, and it's run through numerous tests, and it's never had anything wrong with it.
That may surprise you, especially considering how close Jerry and his wife Donna live to Roanoke Cement, which is owned and operated by Titan.
You're standing less than a mile of it, and it's in full operation right now, and you don't hear it nor see it.
He's right. The Hendersons drove us all around their property. The only thing you notice, the cows. The Hendersons say the air and water are clean, at least from their vantage point. Their view is shared from the farmland to this playground in the center of Troutville.
Never noticed anything. I never even knew it was there for the longest time until one day we did see the smoke coming out from the stack, and I wasn't even sure what it was. But no, never any problems.
We found mother of three, Christy Burke, at a park playing with her children. Do you feel like the air's good in this town?
Oh my goodness, yes. Yeah, I've never had or seen or smelt or anything at all. So yeah, even living close to the cement plant like we did, never, or even down here at the park or anywhere, well, I've never noticed anything.
Neither has Kim Painter, another neighbor we bumped into at the park.
Watch the news about every night, so no, I haven't heard anything but bad about them.
And when we asked Painter about the environment,
I think we live in a good county. It's clean, it's safe, it's a good spot to be.
this area is a spot that attracts a lot of tourists. The Blue Ridge Parkway and Appalachian Trail wind through these scenic mountains, making tourism the second biggest tax resource and job generator in the county. Jerry Burgess is the county administrator. We went to him to learn more about this area and its relationship with the plant.
Well, Titan is first and foremost our #1 taxpayer in the county, but I really don't think of them that way. I think of them more as an environmental partner.
He tells us that Roanoke Cement has worked with the county on efforts to clean up creeks in this community.
They have a huge commitment to environmental protection.
Our experience with Titan America has been nothing but positive.
Stephen Clinton serves on the Board of Supervisors for the county.
For as big a plant as it is, and as large an employer as it is, it's very innocuous. It's just in the background. It's not hugely visible in any respect to the everyday life in Botetourt County.
Clinton is surprised to hear that Titan has been met with such resistance in our community.
It does surprise me. Yeah, although I understand it's the unknown, and folks in Wilmington don't have the same knowledge that we do and the same experience with Titan America.
Back at the Hendersons' farm, Donna shares some advice she has for our area.
Welcome them. Welcome them for the product that they're going to produce. They are environmentally knowledgeable. They will not hurt their environment, and they're going to provide jobs. I'm sure that area needs jobs as much as anybody.
Words from someone living and farming in the shadow of Roanoke Cement.
Now, when asked about the plant's environmental impact, Bill Bainter, the president of Roanoke Valley Trout Unlimited, said, and I quote, "I have toured the plant several times and have interacted with their management. I find them to be a responsible company relative to their environmental efforts." End quote. Now, tomorrow on WECT News at 6, Ashley will take us inside Roanoke Cement. It's an eye-opening tour you do not want to miss.
Touring Titan. Tonight we're giving you a look inside a cement plant owned and operated by Titan America.
Now, that's the same company that wants to build a similar plant in New Hanover County. WECT's Ashley Kozakowski traveled to Roanoke Cement. She's live now in the studio with this special report.
Well, that's right. We traveled to the plant back in December and just took an in-depth tour of the plant. And plant officials took us on a tour, and they showed us their facility doesn't just make cement. Surrounded by mountains in Troutville, Virginia, Roanoke Cement holds some surprises behind the gates.
We're not just the big plant behind the mountain.
That's an abandoned quarry.
Roanoke Cement environmental manager Lance Clark and production manager Dan Babish drove us through the plant, which was built here in the 50s.
We've got a SUV going out on the haul road.
Babish tells us how they make cement, which involves mining limestone on site.
We mine about 90% of all the raw materials that are required to make cement here on site, and then we're heating up that rock to about close to 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
In this kiln, that limestone is mixed with a material called gypsum, which is a byproduct from coal-fired electric plants. Then it's ground into cement. Because limestone naturally contains mercury, the process sends mercury emissions out of the stacks with other particulates and pollutants. But Clark says emissions have been dropping thanks to the installation of something called a baghouse. It basically cleans the air coming out of the stack.
That baghouse was not mandated by any state or federal agency. We put that on to help lower our emissions. And when you get into voluntary things like that, I think that shows our environmental stewardship.
That's not the only investment Titan's made in the plant. When Titan bought the facility in the 90s, the company spent millions to upgrade the plant and make it more energy efficient.
We received the overall Environmental Excellence Award, so that's kind of like the top honor. So that was a big deal for us.
Right now, the plant recycles 40% of its energy, something the team is proud of. But that's not the only thing they're proud of here. At the bottom of a steep hill, there's this. This old quarry has been transformed into a trout pond. Every year, the plant has a fishing tournament for local children. Employees are allowed to fish here too.
Let's show how good the water quality is. Let's put an environmentally sensitive fish in one of our abandoned quarries. It started out with that, and now it's grown into a really nice recreational area that the employees can enjoy.
That's not the only surprise on the grounds.
See them in there?
Not far from the stacks, bees make honey inside this hive, and this apple orchard produces fruit for employees to take home.
Why do that kind of thing?
Because it's the right thing to do.
Clark and Babish say the plant's environmental commitment goes beyond the gates. Clark regularly attends meetings with local environmental leaders, and the plant participates in efforts to clean up creeks and maintain mountain trails.
Have you been a good environmental partner?
Yes, absolutely. I think we are recognized for our environmental stewardship as well as energy management and energy reduction. Here we realize that it's not our right to manufacture this product, cement. We are more or less at the will of the community. We recognize that we have an impact on the community, but we, at the same time, we think that we have a positive impact.
Now, I want to know, Roanoke Cement, have they had any issues with the EPA?
Well, no, they haven't had any issues with the EPA in the past 5 years. Anything that happened beyond that, we do have on our website, WECT.com.
And how do they do as far as working with the community? You said that they seem to think that they're good stewards of the environment up there.
Yeah, and you know, we called and we even asked local people who are in the Stop Titan group to hook us up with people in Roanoke who are against this plant, who have problems with this plant. And gosh, we couldn't find anybody. We talked to a number of environmental groups and just couldn't find anyone to say anything negative about the plant.
Mm-hmm. All right, now you said that this plant is smaller than the one that is proposed here. How much smaller?
It's about a quarter to a half size of the plant that they're talking about here. And one of the things that I do want to talk about is a lot of people have expressed concerns about mercury. That's one of the major concerns with the plant in Castle Hayne. Now, the plant in Roanoke emits
30 pounds a year of mercury. And there are new EPA regulations, though, for new plants. So when this plant, if this plant is built in Castle Hayne, they'll be capped at something like 45 pounds of mercury a year. And the company says that's if they are going 24/7. So we have a lot more on this. We're looking at this tomorrow night as well, and we'll be hearing from local opponents on what we saw and heard in Roanoke. We'll be hearing from them tomorrow night at 6.
But to recap what you said yesterday, a lot of the folks who live near the plant not complaining at all.
Yeah, I mean, it was hard to find, and in fact impossible to find anybody to say anything that wasn't positive about Roanoke Cement.
This week we've taken a closer look at Titan America, the company that wants to build a cement plant in New Hanover County.
Now we went to Virginia, where the company operates a plant that's similar to the one they want to build here, and we could not find anyone in that community willing to say anything negative about that plant. Well, in tonight's exclusive report, WECT's Ashley Kozakowski is giving Titan opponents here a chance to respond.
This week, we've introduced you to the people of Troutville, Virginia, the neighbors and community leaders who live and work in the shadows of Roanoke Cement.
They have been continually such a good neighbor.
I think of them more as an environmental partner.
We also took you inside the plant, showing you how cement's made and the surprises on site, like this old quarry transformed into a trout pond.
Why do that kind of thing?
Because it's the right thing to do.
But opponents here say Roanoke Cement isn't a fair comparison.
The proposed plant here is in a coastal region, in a wetland area on a river with groundwater aquifer issues, and the plant up in Roanoke, Virginia is a quarter the size. It's in the mountains.
Those fighting the proposed plant wanted to show us what's at stake here. The best way to get a look at the site, by boat. On this day, the Sierra Club is sponsoring a trip up the river. Our guide, Mike Giles from the North Carolina Coastal Federation.
As far as you can see is Titan property.
Both groups are part of the Stop Titan Action Network.
To us, if you put a map of the United States and said, where is the worst place to put a cement plant, it would be right here.
Giles shows us the site. There are old silos from the cement plant that used to be here. What you can't see is a mine that's in operation. A company called Martin Marietta is mining here and has been for the past 40 years. Carolina Cement says its mines will be about 80 feet deep. In Roanoke, which is different geologically, the mines are about 250 feet deep. Opponents point to mining issues near the company's Medley, Florida facility. A judge stalled mining expansion near the Everglades back in 2006, saying when it approved permits, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers failed to protect the environment. But that suit wasn't specific to Titan alone. Several other companies were involved. Following an environmental study, permits were reissued in 2010.
Of course, Titan says they have a superlative record, both in Florida and Virginia, but the cement industry has long been known as a very dirty industry. This process of burning limestone and coal to make Portland cement was patented in the 1890s.
There's no doubt the cement industry is a dirty one. The EPA says it's the third largest source of mercury air pollution, and Giles says what comes out of the stacks ends up in the water.
Cape Fear River, the Northeast Cape Fear River, and our coastal waters already have mercury impairment. How can we reduce that? By putting more mercury, whether it's 46 pounds or whether it's 1 pound of mercury.
The EPA put tougher restrictions into place on cement plants back in 2009, and Carolina Cement says it will comply with those rules. But Mac Montgomery from the Sierra Club says environmentalists and neighbors still have concerns.
I think the concern people have is we want you to be a neighbor, a good neighbor in our community, and we want to know everything about you. I think in our community today we can't afford to not look at things from that point of view.
So who is right about the plant? Its opponents?
We don't believe this is the right project for this area.
The company?
We pride ourselves with being a good community steward, taking care of the environment.
Or its neighbors?
Come look.
Come see it.
See what a good neighbor they are.
Or is there a little bit of truth in what they all say about Titan?
Now, we're still waiting to hear from the North Carolina Division of Air Quality if Carolina Cement, a subsidiary of Titan, will be issued an air permit. That decision is expected sometime this year.
Then the Army Corps of Engineers will have to approve the plan, which could take 2 years. If this all moves forward, the plant could open in 2016 and employ about 160 people. A controversial proposed cement plant is one step closer to coming to New Hanover County. Carolina Titan Cement Company has issued an air permit today. WECT's Ashley Kozakowski joins us now live from Castle Hayne with details. Ashley?
Well, Fran, we are a few miles from where that proposed plant could be built here in Castle Hayne. And I talked to a lot of opponents today. They say they expected this to happen. They expected the Division of Air Quality to grant this air permit. And many are still reviewing the state's decision, trying to figure out exactly what this means and exactly what this means for those who have fought against this plant coming here. Now, according to the Department of Air Quality, the permit has strict limits for mercury and other pollutants. And getting this permit has taken Carolina Cement 4 years. The DAQ says Carolina Cement will have to comply with tougher EPA restrictions for new plants. They were passed just a few years ago. The permit mandates the company use state-of-the-art pollution control technology and comply with all state limits on air pollution. Today we talked to Bob Odom, the general manager of Carolina Cement. He says the company does plan to comply with all state and federal regulations. He also called it a great day for the company.
Finally, I think what we've been trying to do has been justified. The state says, okay, yes, they can follow all the rules. We agree with what they're saying. We agree with their expertise.
Now, the Division of Air Quality Director Sheila Holman said in a press release today this permit ensures that the Titan plant will require state-of-the-art air pollution controls to protect public health and the environment. She went on to say air emissions would be much lower than expected when the facility was first proposed, and that's because those federal regulations have gotten tougher when it comes to newly built cement plants. Now, coming up tonight at 6, I'll have more on what this means for the cement plant moving forward, and if it all goes according to plan, I'll have more on when this could open. For now, reporting live, I'm Ashley Kozakowski, WECT News.
People who have fought against a cement plant speak out after the state approves an air quality permit for the project. 4 years after filing for the permit, Carolina Cement and Titan America got the approval today.
Now, while it's just another step in the process, it's a defeat for members of Stop Titan, the group that opposed the plant and has from the very start. WECT's Ashley Kozakowski live now with more on their reaction tonight. Ashley?
Well, John, the company says this is a major milestone, but tonight opponents of the plant are calling the decision by the state disappointing.
We're not backing down. The citizens aren't backing down. We feel like this project is not appropriate for our region.
Opponents of Carolina Cement are vowing to continue the fight. Mike Giles with the North Carolina Coastal Federation says they expected the state to issue an air quality permit, but it's still upsetting.
We're disappointed, and we're still surprised that the state would move forward without a comprehensive review. We think issuing a permit now is premature.
Giles wouldn't say tonight if the group plans to take legal action to halt the process, but he says they are reviewing the permit, which is an 80-page document. Meantime, Carolina Cement is celebrating a day 4 years in the making.
We're very happy about this. It's a major milestone.
The Division of Air Quality says the permit sets strict limits on mercury and other pollutants the plant can emit. And Bob Odom, the general manager of Carolina Cement, promises they will comply.
The rules are in effect to protect all of us, and we're going to follow the rules. We have to, and we want to.
Now the company is looking ahead. Odom says the next hurdle is getting approval from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, a process that could take 2 years. He's optimistic about the plant's future.
In the long term, people are going to say, you know, they're good neighbors. And I sincerely believe that. Again, we're good neighbors in Pennsuco, we're good neighbors in Roanoke. We're not going to be any differently here.
But opponents are optimistic too and plan to stand their ground.
I'm always optimistic about what we can do. And will there be bumps in the road? Absolutely. Will we continue to work for what's best for the people, for jobs, and a great environment here? Absolutely.
That plant also has to get the go-ahead from county leaders, getting what's called a special use permit. Odom says if all goes as planned, the plant could be built in 4 years. Reporting live tonight, I'm Ashley Kozakowski, WECT News.